Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and I'd like to bring you this story that I ran across the other day from the Telegraph, and it is about scientists discovering that by taking the CV inoculation that you can seriously damage your eyes in the cornea. And this is just a gift that keeps on giving, isn't it, folks? And it is absolutely staggering. It's absolutely staggering. The things that have come out in the last 5 years over these experimental vaccines. These were never fully tested. You were the experiment. We were the experiment. Well, I wasn't. I am so glad that I didn't go near these things, and I hope that you have learnt your lesson over the last 5 years, that you absolutely cannot believe a word that these people are telling you. If it's not clear by now that these people do not have your best interests at heart, this is Mussolini's definition of fascism. Okay, and that is when corporations and government get into bed with each other and start finagling things their own way, while these big pharma corporations spend billions and billions and billions of dollars a year to bribe, coerce and convince politicians to act against the people's best interests and in the best interests of these heartless corporations who will literally kill thousands and thousands, in fact, if not millions of people without any disregard whatsoever. Now, I'm going to stray a little here from vaccines, but what about all of the pesticides? The DDTs and the Roundups and 2,4-D and neonicotinoids and all that kind of stuff. How are these things allowed to get into our environment when I can't even, have a little dump at the end of my garden and put some of my waste in it? Oh, no, you can't do that. That's against public health. What? Well, okay, so isn't this against public health? So this is staggering news, but I think this is going to keep on going, and I think we're going to find out more and more and more things, side effects, unexpected side effects maybe, or unexpected consequences from the rollout of these experimental inoculations. And in Canada they're still pushing them. They are still pushing them, and I'm sure you're getting the picture now too. I'm absolutely sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of being lied to. I'm sick and tired of not knowing who I can trust. So in the best interest of myself, and you will presumably be doing the same, you just don't trust anything. Nothing they say. So this is, in the end, is going to be absolutely disastrous for any government, because the public will just turn away, and even the most adamant of mask wearers, the people who wore their masks alone in their cars, who got 15 boosters, even they at some point will come to where I think most of my listeners are at, where, like I say, the damage done by believing the directions and following the directions of these people is so dangerous and so injurious to your own person that even if it's good advice, you won't take it, because the downside risk is just way too high. And thank you, governments. This is what you've done. You've undermined everything that we have done in our history to lead us to this point. Now, I know there's always been things going on, there's always been snake oil and so on and so forth, but by and large, the science that we have come to depend on to build bridges, to put rockets up into space, to build computers, internet, data centers, the kind of surgery that they can do on people, all this kind of stuff was built on knowledge that was based in reality. And these people there's a group of people in the health industry who have moved the train off the rails of reality, but that's only half the story, and that is really only half the problem. The other half is you've got a whole bunch of people who are elected and unelected, who don't do anything to say, wait a minute, we need some rigor here. We need some proof. We need some evidence. We need more than just 10 people. No. We need to have hard evidence. You need to prove over and over and over again that what you are doing is safe. And between the World Health Organization, they trumped up this. They pushed this to the very limit, and then demanded that pharmaceutical companies roll out something quickly, which they say, well, we're not going to do unless you give us a liability waiver, which, again, these people that we have elected to supposedly protect our best interests, these bloated civil servants who sit there and they want to stay at home and paint their goddamn toenails on the public's dollar, allowing all this to go through. And I am, like I say, I will be amazed if you are not as frustrated and as angry at the road these people, the path these people have led us down, which is going to be one of complete disaster. And it's not just in this area, not just in the health area. Anyway, let my heart calm down. Okay, I'm going to read you the story so I can catch my breath and take a minute. So we'll go over there, listen to the story, and I'll come back and do a quick wrap-up. Okie dokie, here we go. Sorry, I said Telegraph. It's actually the Daily Mail. Scientists discover Pfizer COVID jab linked to major eye damage. Scientists have discovered that Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine may increase... I love it when they use these soft words to try and hide the truth. Again, this is your mainstream media. Even though they're reporting, they're trying to play it down. May increase the risk of eye damage leading to vision loss. The new study specifically examined how the vaccine affected patients' corneas, the clear front part of the eye that allows light to enter. In 64 people, scientists in Turkey measured changes in the cornea's inner layer, called the endothelium, before taking the first Pfizer dose and 2 months after receiving the second. Results revealed that taking both doses of the vaccine led to thicker corneas, fewer endothelial cells in the eyes, and more variation in size of these specialized cells that form the endothelium. In the short term, these changes suggest Pfizer vaccine may temporarily weaken the endothelium, even though patients didn't suffer clear vision problems during the study. For people with healthy eyes, these small changes likely won't affect vision right away. Right away. You see, got to listen to those words. However, if scientists find that these changes last for years, they could lead to corneal swelling or blurry vision, especially in those with pre-existing eye problems or people who have had a corneal transplant. A thicker cornea and reduced cell density could contribute to eye conditions like corneal endemia, bullous keratopathy, or corneal decompensation, which can all cause permanent vision loss in severe cases, especially if left untreated. Well, if you don't know, because they don't show up in the early stages, well, how can you treat them when you start to notice them? It's usually too late. My goodness. The researchers warned in the study published Wednesday in the journal Ophthalmic Epidemiology the endothelium should be closely monitored in those with low endothelial count or who have a corneal graft. An eye doctor can use a special microscope called a specular microscopy to find out if somebody has a low endothelial cell count. If you have blurry vision or eye discomfort, this test can also check if your cornea cells are healthy. A low count can be the result of aging, eye diseases like Fuchs dystrophy, eye surgeries, injuries, or infections. These factors damage the cells that keep your cornea clear, and they don't grow back. Specifically, the team found that the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine caused a patient's cornea to go from 528 to 542 micrometers in thickness, or roughly 0.028 inches to 0.213 inches. This is a roughly 2% increase in micrometers. A slightly thicker cornea isn't automatically harmful. The cornea can thicken temporarily due to inflammation, fluid buildup, or stress on the endothelium from minor illnesses or injuries to the eyes. If it stays too thick for months or years, however, it could make the cornea less clear, potentially affecting vision. The team did not recommend against vaccination and will still need to conduct long-term testing on patients to see if these changes continue to appear months and years after taking the shots. Thanks. but no thanks. See what I mean? The team did not recommend against vaccination. Thanks, but no thanks. Keep your vaccine, keep your experiments. I'm not a guinea pig, and I'm not going to be part of your testing. Healthy endothelial cells are usually shaped like hexagons, which allow them to fit together tightly like a honeycomb. Although the 2% drop was not a direct sign of damage, it suggested to the team that the cells might be reacting to some sort of stress over the 2 months to 3 months. The researchers said that the results also showed evidence that the changes had a high likelihood of being directly linked to taking the vaccine, which means it wasn't just a random anomaly in testing. If the signs of stress and inflammation drop off shortly after receiving the Pfizer shot, the impact of these minor changes would not be overly harmful. Each participant took a full eye exam, including tests for vision sharpness, eye pressure, and scans of the eye's front and back parts to ensure overall eye health. By comparing the measurements taken before vaccination to those after, the researchers could see if the Pfizer vaccine was influencing the health of the eyes. The new data on potentially harmful side effects linked to Pfizer's COVID vaccine added to a growing list of concerns the Trump administration has highlighted. In May, the Food and Drug Administration forced Pfizer and Moderna to use expanded warning labels about the risks of heart damage tied to COVID-19 vaccines, and I made a video of that. The shots previously included warning labels about the rare chance of patients suffering myocarditis, inflammation of the heart muscle, and pericarditis, inflammation of the sac lining surrounding the heart. The new labels expanded that warning to a certain age groups, particularly men between the ages of 16 and 25. Researchers found that this seemingly healthy group appeared to be at the highest risk of the rare complications. Well, I'm sure it will turn out to be not so rare, and 16 to 25 and you need a shot for the flu? Are you kidding me? This is the healthiest group of people in society. The people who are most likely, 99.9% chance of surviving a case of the flu with absolutely zero side effects. Why would you ever take anything with even a 0.001% chance of something, a side effect happening to you, when you got a chance of no side effects? I don't know. Anyway, let this be a cautionary tale. A cautionary tale. So I hope that you are amazed at this story. I'm glad that it's come out into the public, into the mainstream media, and at least, even though it's a day late and a dollar short, we are getting some information. And thank God that RFK Jr. Is now the health secretary in the USA, and he's making some very common sense decisions, which I am impressed with, and I am glad, I'm glad that Big Pharma may be for once shaking in their boots. And of course, as President Trump said in his speech at Davos, he's going to prevent the gouging of US citizens with overpriced drugs when you can buy them for 1/10 of the price in the EU or in Africa, all of this kind of stuff. So, not only are they, we're paying a premium to be poisoned by these people. And at the end of the day, the only thing that is going to stop this is if we turn our backs on these people. Don't take their drugs. I take no medications whatsoever. I take vitamins. That's how I heal with my body. I take vitamin D. I take a ginkgo biloba to help with my circulation. Zinc, NAC, taurine. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do, and you have to search around to get the good quality vitamins. But at the age of 72, I'm in pretty good health, and I have basically followed what my body has been telling me, done my own research. And when I go and see a doctor, it's with a healthy dose of skepticism, if I ever do go. Because, like I say, I've reached a point where these people are so untrustworthy, you cannot put any faith in their ability to help you unless it's a broken arm, broken hand. Like say, when I broke the bone in my hand, sure, I go to a doctor. They're actually pretty skilled at that kind of stuff. Anesthetics, putting you to sleep. Yeah. no problem at all. But when it comes to other stuff, so these people will knowingly or unknowingly, wittingly or unwittingly, withhold information from you or misinform you or disinform you, just like, when you asked for the side effects from the CV inoculation. Well, they wouldn't tell you. Oh, it's safe and effective, don't you worry about it. Oh, you can't get Bell's palsy. Oh no, you can't get blood clots. Oh no, you can't get pericarditis. Or yeah, they will tell you anything. And these guys are well paid, guys and girls. They are damn well paid. And we pay them out of our pockets to feed us nonsense. So, as I say, the only way for you to get around this is start taking care of your own health. Avoid these people like the plague. So, there you go. I mean, we're living in crazy land, folks, and I think this article proves what I am saying, that you should really, really use extreme caution when you are dealing with these medical professionals, because they don't have your best interests at heart. They are just ticking boxes. I mean, I can't stop. I'm on a roll here. I'm on a ranting roll. But when I was going in to see my doctor, if I did go in and see him for a checkup or something, all I saw was his back. He was too busy typing what I was saying into the computer rather than talking to me, the patient, and finding out what was going on. I mean, come on, really? Are you serious? Okay, so that's, I think, enough of a rant from me. I think you've got the picture, and I need to sit down now and have a cup of tea and let my pulse rate go down, my heartbeat slow down, and let the veins on my neck recede to a normal state, with an education that I paid for being deliberately deceptive. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.